Lindsay, who is currently on a flight back to Florida, that we would make sure to record. So we'll get this updated in the team page. But I know so many of us were at Super Weekend this weekend, whether or not we were in Philly or we were in Cleveland. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that first. But first, I want to do a couple of updates and just kind of like some housekeeping stuff, because I feel like we haven't been in this kind of space in a while to talk about this. And kind of reflecting about our challenge groups currently, we have a new group that's going to start on the 29th of April. And we currently have, if you're doing like the Rise Up Project, if that's the way you're going, we currently have Rise Up Project, Love the Skin You're In, which is our basic 30-day group. And then we have Fix Up Your Nutrition, which was our UPF group. Again, when we kind of separated the two groups, it was a hard decision because 2B Mindset, when we did that, it kind of flopped. It was better to keep everybody in one group, but we felt like we had so much good nutrition information that we wanted to give to those specific 2B Mindset people. It was kind of important to have two separate groups. Well, I do think the two separate groups are okay, but I think it's a lot for us as coaches. Of course, our challengers, the ones that are in the Fix Up Your Nutrition group, are the ones that committed to UPF, and they really don't know the difference. And I think it was really helpful for us to have all those units. But as coaches, I can imagine you feel pretty spread thin, feeling like where should you post, what group should you be in. So when we start our April 29th group, we're going to come back together. We're actually going to close down Rise Up Project and completely start new. I know we said we would do that kind of quarterly. What's really good about that is that gives you time to have conversations with your current challengers or in that group. Maybe they faded off. Maybe you haven't heard from them in a while. And this gives you the opportunity to say, look, in 2 weeks, we're going to close down this group and move to the next. And I haven't heard from you in a while, and that's okay. But what are your goals? How can I help you maybe get more prepared for the next group? So it's a really nice time to transition. And when we move into that group, I will put all those UPF units. If you're in the Fix Up Your Nutrition group, those units walk people through how to watch the videos for UPF. So I am going to put those in this new group too. So it'll be a house for everybody, but in the units tab, you'll see UPF, and then they can just go in there and they can walk through it. So hopefully we don't feel as spread thin, and we can kind of bring people together, because what I'm feeling like is there's things I'm posting in the Fix Up Your Nutrition for those UPF people, and I'm like, oh, but these people really need to know it too. And so I'm going back and forth. And another thing I realized is actually I have like 2 challengers that live in the same hometown. One's in my UPF group and one's in the Rise Up Empire or Rise Up Project group. And I'm like, but they would probably love to be supporting each other in the same group, but they don't even know they're doing it. So we're going to consolidate. Again, feel free to do your own thing if you would like, but that's kind of my plan. I'm calling the April 29th group, that new group that's going to house everything. I'm calling it Spring Into Confident, because I think that so many of us, it starts with that desire to just be more confident and more comfortable in our own skin. And so that's kind of where I'm going with that. So more information to come on that, but hopefully hoping to streamline. We have a coach sneak peek coming up April 29th or April 28th and April 29th. So it's actually, I believe, a Sunday and a Monday. I have to go back and look at that. But I believe it's a Sunday and a Monday. So kind of always trying to switch things up and see what's going to bring more people on, what's going to be better for them. You guys, after we do these sneak peeks or any type of group, I love feedback, because I'm just learning as much as you are. So, again, kind of switching it up. I think usually we do like Wednesdays and Thursdays. So I was like, well, let's just try a different time of the week to see what works best. So that's coming up April 28th and April 29th. It is not too early to start inviting people to join you in that coach sneak peek. Get them interested, tell them it's coming up. You'll give them more information as we get closer, but it's not too late or too early to start inviting to that. I will say the week prior, I will really start talking a lot about coaching in my posts and saying that we have a coach invite or coach sneak peek coming up, so that when I send them that invite, they're also seeing a little bit more about it on my profile. Any questions about those 2 things that are coming up? I am keeping an eye on the chat too. So if anybody wants to unmute themselves or go over in the chat, I can watch that too. All right, so 2 big things coming up. Now, like I said, so many of us are tired, we're sore. We just got back from Super Weekend, which was such an amazing event. There's something so powerful, and I think that people who are on this call, especially in Cleveland or in Philly this weekend can attest to finally getting to see people in person. Like it's so unreal. You seriously, you see them every day online, you're talking to them online, and when you actually do see them in person, it's kind of like not even the first time you met. Like you don't feel like it's the first time you met, but it truly is. But it kind of just brings us all back together. And I've asked people who were there this weekend to kind of give us their best takeaways and what they got from this weekend. But really, you guys, Super Sunday, or that's what it was for us, Super Sunday, but it could have been Friday or Saturday or Sunday, is a really small glimpse of what Summit is. I will say for me, I was a little disappointed in Cleveland's actual training part of Super Sunday. Not what I expected, especially out of such a big market. And like they did an hour of social media at the very beginning, social media training, and I thought I was going to fall asleep. So I was a little disappointed in that. But what was so amazing was the community, was the support of other women who were at Super Sunday. I know that I was like working out next to a girl and we kept knocking into each other and we had no idea who each other were, but instead of giving each other dirty looks and be like, hey, get out of my space, like we're like, okay, let's synchronize. And then we were cheering each other on. And that's just that sense of community that I feel like is so important. And when you go to Summit and you're there for multiple days, so as many days as you can get there, but typically it's a 3-day conference. Super Sunday was just this small piece of it, and the training is out of this world. I know that like Lindsay and Ashley G and I were talking on the way home. We were saying it was like when we were driving home, we were saying it was like the Bachelorette or Bachelor, because we had Ashley G and Ashley F. But Ashley and Lindsay and I were talking about how we wish that even that social media training would have been more Beachbody related, because I felt like it was just a really overall and it didn't really tie into what we were doing. When we're at Summit, those trainings are from top coaches in the network. So it's not from an outside company, and they are sharing so much tangible information. You will walk away thinking, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And it's just so amazing. So I was slightly disappointed about that, but I was not disappointed at all with how much fun we had and just getting to know everybody. I think that's what's so huge. And so I could talk forever about it. But I know I asked if anybody else wanted to share their takeaways, whether or not, again, I saw Mindy pop on, so that's awesome. She was with Tanya in Philadelphia. Whoever wants to go first, if you want to just unmute yourself and kind of share, or I can just call you out, go for it. All right, Tanya, ready? I'll unmute you. There you go.
Okay, great. So yeah, we were in Philadelphia, and Philly is like what do they call it? Like the city of brotherly love, I guess. And it was totally like that. Like the people who ran it, like our market council, they talk about how like we're all like we're like all the ones that like nobody wants, right? Like we're all like these coaches like by ourselves. They say it's really hard to be a coach kind of like in our area, like New York, Philadelphia, the East Coast, but that we all get together and we all support each other. And that is what I walked away from the weekend thinking. Like everyone loved each other. Like it was just, the energy in the room was amazing. Meeting Mindy for the first time was so incredible. Like you said, it's like you have known these people forever. Like I was nervous obviously to go and meet Mindy because like hello, I had never met her, but as soon as I got there, everything was so natural and it was so nice, and it was everyone's so excited. I think that is the part that I really needed, because I had reached out to a few of you last week, I guess it was, and I was kind of feeling like in a rut, and then I went to this and I feel like so much better about everything we're doing. And the thing that I heard over and over again, we had Michael Neiman, right? He was there speaking with us, and he kind of told us like how he got started with Beachbody. and why it was so special to him. And Ashley Laughlin was another top coach who was there to speak with us, and they both talked about how it is so important to just love other people and to help other people, and that is your mission in this. It's to share this opportunity with others and not think about like they're going to judge you because you invited them, or they're going to think you're just there to like make money. No, you are there to like make a difference in their lives. And that is what we continued to hear. And that's what I really walked away with, because I think something that I struggle with a lot is being worried about what other people are thinking about the message that I'm sending them. But really, I need to get over that. And it's all about, you know, being true to you and trying to help others. And one thing that Ashley Laughlin said, she gave us like 10 tips. I tried to write them all down. They were great. But one that was like really important, I thought, was just to continue to share your story. And I think for me, sharing my story is something that's really difficult, because I don't like to get like really deep with other people, or I don't know, personal with my posts. But I need to share my story and really share my brand. Like, I need to figure out what that is. So it says, she wrote down, number 2 is, it's not about you. You can't be afraid of what other people think. You need to connect to something that's bigger than you. And I think I walked away from this weekend feeling like that. And I know that going to Summit, like, guys, I'm scared to death of flying. Like, I really am. My husband thinks it's funny, but it's not. And I booked my plane ticket. Well, he booked it for me because I'm too scared to do it, on Sunday. And I know that I need to go, because that's going to connect me even more to what is bigger than me. And it's going to give me more of a purpose. So I don't know. I kind of rambled a little bit, but that was really like what I walked away from. It just walked away with like so much love and happiness. I don't know. It's like so weird. But
I will say I saw like the Philadelphia one, and I was like, man, they looked like there was like 700 people there, like music, like DJ, like jamming. And I was like, well, we had fun too, but like
they had no mom dancing. You weren't allowed to mom dance. You had to really dance. We had a good time.
No, I think that's incredible. I think that's so fun. Maybe the Cleveland crew should come to Philly next time. But because your training sounded incredible.
Yeah, those 2 people. I mean, Michael Neiman talked about how he did not want to do Beachbody. Like, 3 different people approached him in a short amount of time, and he was not interested in pursuing any more like marketing job. He wanted to do like something different with his profession. And he met with Carl, and he said he was instantly like sucked. He called it being sucked into a vortex for 20 minutes talking to him. And he was convinced that after those 20 minutes, like, he needed to work for Beachbody because he needed to impact like the lives of others. And like, that was so incredible.
That's so cool. Thanks, girl.
Yeah.
All right. Who else? I see you all on here. Steph, Leah, anybody? Amanda?
I'll go if you want me to.
Okay.
Want to go first, Leah?
You can go first if you want, Amanda. Go ahead.
So I have to say, I completely agreed with you, Krista, and like, I felt bad saying it, like, because I really was disappointed. And this is my 3rd Super Saturday, and both the other ones I've been to DC, which is like, I mean, huge compared to, I walked into that room in Cleveland, and I was like, this is like one tiny little section at the DC one I usually go to. And so in a way that was kind of nice, because there weren't just a million people there, but I did really think of that. I mean, I got some good pointers out of the social media training, but it was just like, I just felt like they were, like you said, not geared to us. And like, they were just making a lot of comments I thought that we try and not do. And so I was just like, whatever. But I will say that like, I really enjoyed Jessica Bowser Nelson's speech or talk. I think that it was really nice to hear that, you know, she's one of the top coaches. She's an elite coach. She came from, like, she's had a rough go of it. And that she was, you know, every coach's worst nightmare when she started. She bought all of her stuff on eBay, and like she went from that type of person to being an elite coach. And, you know, she's had her bumps and struggles along the way. And I think that it was just really nice to hear that, you know, even though they are top coaches, that they are just like us, and that we can get there if we want, if that's what we want. You know, we just have to adjust our goals and follow the bat. Because that's what works, doing our vital behaviors. And so I just thought that she was really good. And I just really love, just the camaraderie that's there. Like, you know, she was talking to us like she was one of our best friends. Like, she was on our team. Like, she was just so, like, and I guess you guys had all left, but Katie and I stood there just talking to her and laughing with her. And, like, I don't know, it was just, like, she just truly is a real person. And sometimes I think that you forget that. And so that was a good reminder. And then I agree that, like, you walk up to these people, and I mean, I had met a bunch of you before because I've been to 2 summits, but like some of you I haven't met, and like you walked in the room and it was like, oh yeah, they're here. I mean, I was excited. I don't want to say like, oh yeah, you were here, but I was like, it wasn't like, oh God, it's Leah. I don't know like what I should do. It's just like, give me a hug. And so that was just really cool. And I just always love live events, and I'm going to miss you guys at Summit. I'm going to stop before I start crying.
Thanks, girl. Leah, you good?
All right. So I have to agree. This was my first, obviously, since I've only been doing this for such a short amount of time. And I will say, speaking from somebody who is very new, it's awesome to hear from you, Amanda, and you, Krista, that this was not disappointing, but like not what you thought it would be. Because if anything, it made me think like, oh, is this how like Super Saturdays go? Like, I don't know if I'm gonna be coming to this again. Like, it just, I didn't love this, especially the social media part. Jessica, I like valued every second. Like, she could have stood up there for the whole 4 hours and talked, and I would have been good. Like, just looking at her, I would have been good, I feel like. So, that I took a lot away from, and I definitely took a lot away from meeting you guys. I picked up Stephanie first, and like, by the time we got to Cleveland, like, everyone was like, you guys know each other? Like, and we're like, no, we just met 4 hours ago. Like, but everyone thought we were like best friends. And then like when we dropped off Julie and Melissa and Ashley, we like hugged them and said, oh, like, it was nice to meet you. But that's like a weird thing to say because like they're like our friends already. Like, you don't tell your friend like, hey, nice to meet you. I don't know. It was really cool to like see them. Melissa's super short. She's not paying attention. I think she's yelling at one of her kids. But just anyone who hasn't met Melissa B yet, she's really short. She's not listening. Anyways, so Jessica said 2 things that I wrote down. Jessica wrote 2 things that I wrote down that I'm really going to focus on this week. And next week I'm off for April break. So she wrote 2 things that I want to keep like in the back of my mind constantly. It's a good thing that she has me muted because she'd be like yelling at me right now, I bet you. The first is she said, you can either rise to your goals or fall to your habits. And that is like something I feel like I need like on replay because yeah, we all say like we have these great goals, but we need to make our goals our habits is what Jessica was trying to say. Like we have these great expectations of I'm going to invite 3 people. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. That can't be your goal though. That has to be your habit. That has to be what you do on a daily basis. So the days that you do fall to your habits, at least you're falling to 3 invites a day. Like, and then you can rise to an even greater goal on the days that you are able to rise to that. So I feel like I need that on like a loop. I need to like write it on a vision board in my house. And then she also said, stop deciding to decide. And that's another thing that I feel like I need to keep reminding myself. She related it to like her workouts. like deciding when she needs to work out and whatnot. But I feel like I decide for people a lot. Like, oh, she's not going to be interested. She's not going to want that. She doesn't want me to reach out to her. She doesn't want me to be annoying. She doesn't with anything. So I need to stop deciding for people. I need to just be me. And whether it be someone I'm reaching out to for a potential teammate, or even like you guys, like I shouldn't decide for any of you if I'm bothering you with a question or something like that. Like I just need to stop deciding to decide. I just need to do it. I just need to be me and do it. So those were two of Jessica's huge takeaways. Like I said, I could have listened to her talk the whole time. Like they wasted money on everything else, I feel like. But yeah, that's really all I had. Real short and sweet.
Those were the four of the main, or two of the main things that I took away from her too. Definitely like the part about the habits and stop deciding to decide. The other thing that I wrote down that she said that I really loved was, it is your commitment to the process that will determine your progress. Because she said your results from your habits are going to lag. So even if you're killing it this month, if you stop on week 5 because you didn't necessarily help anybody in terms of Success Club points, because we know that you've helped people in more ways than that. But if you stop, you're never going to see the results. And so it truly is your commitment to keep going into the process. And even when it seems hard, that will determine your progress. And she said, like, she's just like us. She gets crickets and she gets no's and she gets ghosted. And I believe that. I don't think there's anything different about any one of them that you'll see. I mean, she was literally, I was like, oh my gosh, Lindsay, she just wore the same outfit you wore last night to dinner. Like she looked like Lindsay. She, like we are the same people. Who else? Steph, you want to go? Yeah.
Am I unmuted? Good? Can you hear me? Okay, good. It gave me like this weird message. So I'm really excited that I went. I wasn't gonna go. I like originally was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm in. And then I was like, yeah, no, that's not me. And then I saw in the group that like someone wasn't able to go anymore, and I was like, oh, maybe this is my sign. Like maybe this is it. Like there's an opening, you can do it. So I went, and then it was funny because I was telling Leah, who picked me up, I was like, last night I literally was thinking of ways to get out of this. I was gonna send you a message and just be like, any reason in the book, why not you? Because it just was so not me to be like, okay, I'm gonna go meet up with a bunch of strangers like in Cleveland. Bye. Like, it's just not who I am. But I'm so glad I did, because I have to say honestly too, like meeting everyone was definitely the best part. I just like every morning I get up, I wake up, I work out, shower, and then like while I'm drinking my shake, I check out and see like what everyone's doing, how everyone's workouts went. Like I want to like message you guys and be like, good job, this is what I did. And so to see everyone in person was just so cool. Like it was so cool. Like when I saw Krista, I was like, oh my God, it's Krista. Like it was just so funny. It's like, I see you every day and you're here in person. So just being able to have the opportunity to just be in person and be like, hey guys, like I'm struggling here. Hey, I have questions here, and have people be like, oh, me too. Or, oh, I did. And like, this is what I do. And it's just, it gave me hope, because I feel like I'm like I was a little slower with the coaching, and like, it's taking me a little more time to be like, okay, I'm comfortable. And so I thought I was like super behind on the 8 ball, but just like having our team and like in person, just having those conversations just was so great. It's literally like leaving. I was like, okay, I feel like I've known you guys forever. Like, see you tomorrow on the call. But I'm really glad we all did talk about kind of the presentation, because I was like, I don't know, like I felt like I didn't take away a ton, but then like I did love when Jessica spoke, and like I took away the same things, like just like I was like, I found it on here, it's like decide to stop deciding with all the arrows. So I'm like, all the arrows, because I constantly decide for people. I'm like, oh, no one's gonna want to join me, no one's gonna want to sign up. So I'm really glad that we like had, that time to like listen to a top coach talk about her experience and, what she's been going through and how she got there. So that was awesome. But overall, like I'm really glad that I had the opportunity to meet everybody. And for me, that was just the best, just taking everyone off the screen and putting them, like I kept telling Leah, I'm like, oh my God, you're in 3D. Like, this is great. So it was fun. I'm really, really glad I pushed outside the comfort zone. Good time. That's all I got.
That's so awesome. It was so cool to see everybody in person. And I had to say that, like, I kind of went back and forth, like, do I say that the actual presentation of the Super Sunday wasn't that great, because I don't really want to say that, because I'm just going to tell people that weren't there not to come. But it honestly, besides Jessica Bowser Nelson, who spoke to us, and the transformation story that we heard, we did hear a really good transformation story from somebody who was in the room. Besides those two pieces, the rest was kind of lackluster. And I thought it was important to acknowledge that, because, you know, there are so many great live events. Like Summit is unbelievable. It is literally unreal. And the trainings are so crucial to where you are in your business. And they're going to be even better this year with them assigning you to where you're going to be based on where you are in your business, because it's going to be very, very like actionable for you to go home and put things into action. So, but you can never replace getting together with your team in person. I think it fuels you up. I think it kind of gives you that extra push again, because we all go through like ups and downs in this business. And just even hearing Jessica say that was so, so important. Anybody else want to go? Let's see.
I can if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I was extremely nervous going. I had like the sweaty pits and the nervous diarrheas. TMI, I know, but it was just crazy. I was wanting to just like, I know Tanya's kids were, well, Graham wasn't feeling well, and I was giving her every out in the book to not go, because I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm going and I'm doing it. And then a lot of great takeaways that I had were one, seeing Tanya in a hallway and just giving her like this huge hug as if I knew her for years, and having it just be so genuine. That really had like a really profound moment for me, to just know that, like, I know we're all in a group, but each person that comes into this group makes our family so much bigger and better. And I absolutely love that. And I took away, so Ashley Lockman went through like 10 best lessons. And one thing that I loved was faith, enthusiasm, and action. And having faith in yourself, enthusiasm, meaning, you always have, whether it's joy in your posts or whether you have a smile on your face, it's always contagious. And action, showing that, you're actually living and doing the things that you're preaching about. And people will follow you for your story. And that's just a matter of fact. They're not following you or liking your posts or anything like that because you're drinking Shakeology or you're drinking Energize or you're sharing, what you ate. They're liking you and loving you for who you are and sharing, and being unapologetic for everything that you are. So that was my takeaway, and I loved it.
That's awesome. Thank you. I actually wrote that down, that faith, enthusiasm, and action. And I love that you said they're going to follow you because of who you are in your story, because I think that's just so important. And I think that can be something that we forget, especially when we're hearing the no's and the crickets. We like internalize that, and we think we must not be good enough. We must not be worthy of people, saying yes to us and following us. But the truth is, they are following you because of your story, and never stop sharing that. And you've got such a good one, Mindy. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else? I know we just hit the 9 o'clock hour, but if somebody's dying to share. All right. Well, then to end on, I wrote down a couple more things that she said, some different quotes. And she said, so many times I think we get we get stuck celebrating the win instead of the efforts. And so I hope as a team, you know, we can really embrace each other and celebrate each other's efforts and celebrate our own efforts, regardless of what the outcome of those efforts are, knowing that, you know, you are proving to yourself every day that you can show up and be unapologetically you because of what it's done for you. I think in talking with the coaches that I talked to when we were in Cleveland, it was so incredible to just hear what this community has done for them. I mean, to like brag on Julie and see like people's jaw drops when they saw her transformation photos that she has not even shared yet. And Steph, the things that you shared. And, you know, I wrote up with Lindsay and Ashley, and to just hear different sides of their story is just so incredible. And so hang on to that when times get tough, what this has done for you, and never be ashamed of that, and go and share that with other people because it really is a gift to do that. And Jessica said that when she gets in a rut, when she gets stuck, she said she's been feeling horrible this pregnancy. She talked all about her struggles in marriage from a very long time. I mean, girlfriend said she got walked off or escorted off her very first Success Club trip cruise by the FBI because of her husband's activities. I mean, she's definitely been through it all. She said when she gets stuck, she has a routine that brings her back motivation. And so I would encourage you in the next couple of days to think about a routine. I know Summer Tucker calls it kind of like her emergency checklist when she starts to get in a rut. What are some things that she goes to? So Jessica said she jumps on YouTube and listens to Beachbody Coach or Challenger success stories. She listens to PD. She puts in her favorite workout. She says, screw my workout calendar. I'm going to go to my favorite one that brings me joy. She's got certain music that she listens to. Whatever that might be for you, I encourage you to find a couple things that you know are going to bring you back. I know what PD book brings me back. And when I'm feeling discouraged, that's exactly what I jump to. But I'm going to definitely implement listening to different success stories because I know that that also pumps me up. So think about that because it really can be hard to kind of keep going when it feels like nobody's listening to you or when it feels like you're kind of just stuck. Another thing that this weekend did for me, and it's, you know, I think it allows us to kind of stop and take a breather and look at who's around us. And I think our team is growing so incredibly. And we have a lot of people who have been here for 3 years. We have a lot of people who are newer and everything in between. And that's what makes this so awesome. But I think we have to constantly remember that because we're growing, we need to continue to be one, and we need to continue to welcome those people in. And I think sometimes maybe new coaches feel like they're a little lost because we do have such a strong sense of community. And so I don't know if it's going to be tonight, but possibly tomorrow, I'm going to post up in Rise Up Empire, and we're going to do kind of what our challengers do. On that day one, an intro, tell us about yourself. And it's going to be up in the announcements. And I encourage you to put a picture, but tell us about yourself, where you're from, what you do, what's your family like, what has this journey meant for you? So some things like that. And so when you get a new coach, make sure that not only you welcome them in the page, but tag them in this post so that they can go in there and welcome themselves so that we can always learn more about them. Because I can imagine as somebody new to our community, as welcoming as we are, it can probably be pretty intimidated, feeling like everybody knows everybody. And that's not always the case. So we're going to do a lot of community building in our team page and make a real effort in that moving forward so that people joining us can continue to do that. I'm also going to be posting in our team page a Google form, and it's just going to be a quick question answer questionnaire thing that this is going to help me help you. There's a lot of times that I'm sitting here before a team call and I'm like, okay, what do they want to hear? What's going to be important? What do I even have to say that would mean anything? And so I'm coming to you. There is going to be a place for a name, but that can be optional. You don't have to put your name in there. But I want to know, what do you feel like would be really helpful for you to learn right now? Y'all know I'm in jail for about 5 more weeks. So I am dedicated to you all to create systems and implement things that we can really do to learn and grow as a team that we can then save in the units tab. You guys, those units tabs are gold for us because we don't have to constantly be doing the same trainings every month. But if you all know what's in there, you can use them and then share them with our challengers. So expect that form, and I would love your feedback. I've talked to a couple coaches that were in Cleveland this weekend who have already given me some great suggestions, and I appreciate that more than you guys know. If I don't feel like I can give you guys the answers, we'll bring somebody in who can, because I think it's important that whatever we're doing on Monday night, your time is precious, and whatever we're doing should be worthwhile for you. So be on the lookout for those two things coming up. Summit tickets are on sale right now at www.coachsummit.com. Grab your ticket. If you've got questions, please reach out. Leah, I'm writing that letter on letterhead for the trip that you have won to Indianapolis so that you can give it to your boss and say that you have got to go. But we'll also start a conversation thread too about hotel rooms, because I feel like hotel rooms are probably what's holding a lot of people up, the fear of not knowing where they're going to stay or how much it's going to be. So let's just start talking about that too, so we can get going. All right, good. All right, anything else? All right, we good, team? Let's get a picture. Amanda, does your phone, are you on your phone, Amanda? Or are you on your computer? Oh yeah, can you take one because it's dark in my room, obviously. Okay. All right.
Get out of there, Hunt.
I know, right? All right. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Miss you all. See you soon. Bye.